Do you know one of the biggest issue with people who have the mind or the intent of starting a business in Ghana? Do you know one of the most common questions I get asked on this channel? It's all about people. I have the idea to start a farm. Do you have any trustworthy person? I want to start a cow farm. Do you have any Fulani herdsmen? My poultry manager just ran away with my eggs. So many questions and issues relating to businesses that has to do with human resources. Today, I want to share with you my heroes here at Semenhyia Farm who have been supporting me, honestly, trustworthy people who have made this farm what it is today. And therefore, this episode, we're going to dedicate it to our workers here at Semenhyia Farm. So stay tuned as I brag about my people here at the farm. Welcome back, guys. So as I said, today I'm going to be focusing not on myself but on the people here at the farm that is making Semenhyia Farm what it is today. I know if you're already a poultry farmer or a cattle farmer or any type of farming, you're probably not doing it by yourself. You're either using part-time laborers, full-time laborers, or whatever source, but there is still somebody involved that is helping you. What have your experience been? What have always been here at the farm? And today we're going to focus on the positive side. Of course, as we start, it's been a while now, and definitely there has a few bad nuts. But today I want to focus on the people that have sacrificed a lot, that have gone the extra mile to really make this farm what it is today. So, I think you and I will agree that the success of this kind of business really and hugely depend on first you, the person with the vision, being able to transfer your vision to others and monitoring or mentoring them to get perfect and understanding that vision. So what has my strategy been in hiring workers or in finding people that I'm going to work with? I've always believed in the attitude of people. Once I meet somebody that has the right attitude, that is a proactive person, that is hardworking, that is trustworthy, it doesn't matter whether the person know about what we're going to do or not. I believe in training people once they have the right attitude and being able to learn and get it right with the right attitude. That's what I look for when I'm hiring people or when I'm choosing people that I'm going to work with. Most people go with experts. In our environment and mostly on this field, it is very hard to find experts. Experts might also, when you even find them, they might come in, but they are fancy. They are not ready to go on the field and get dirty. They are not ready to spend hours here they don't understand how to start, what goes into starting something new. They are checking their hours. They are being paid monthly. There's a whole lot that comes along with it. So my model has always been, does this person have the right attitude, the right spirit to work with me? And if they do, then what do they know? Where do we start from? Do we start from the scratch? Even though it might take time, because they have the right attitude, I'm willing to invest in them. And then through that investment, we are able to build something for a longer term than to bring an expert who will not survive even the hustle with starting a new business. If you bring chicks in for the first day, sometimes all the workers, we have to sleep here overnight for about 3-4 days during the brooding process, right? An expert will come and go. I've actually have an experience where they just come once a week, and when it gets tougher, you call them, they don't even pick it up. So that have been my approach here at the farm. And I want to start with the Fulani herdsmen. So this is going to be stories, right? I just hopefully it can encourage you guys, or there is something you can pick out of it. I don't know, but I want to tell you the stories about the workers, and I know it might be different from everybody. I have a mix of strangers, friends, and relatives, right? So I know some of you have tried. Relatives didn't go well, friends didn't go well, strangers didn't go well, some too, everything went well. So I'm going to tell you what my story is, and hopefully this can motivate you or be an inspiration to you. So I'm going to start from the cattle farm, right? So when we first started the cattle farm, my first trip to Bupe with the cattle farm, for the cattle farm to do more research about cattle. On our way, we got stopped by an old man who wanted a lift from one of the villages on the road to Bupe. So I stopped and then asked him what's up, and then he told me, oh, I wanted a ride from here to Bupe. I was like, oh, that's where we're going. So great. So he jumped into my car. I drove the guy. On the way, we started talking. You know, he hardly speak Twi and doesn't speak any English. So we started trying to communicate slowly. And I told him about my intention of looking for cows or researching the best breed of cow. Not knowing this man is actually a Fulani herdsman who have God knows how many cows, right? So he has a lot of cows, and he started telling me about all his cows and the breeds, the different breeds in Ghana and so on. And that conversation lasted the whole entire trip. And when he got to his destination, he told me that he's willing to actually travel with me to all the places where they sell cows in Ghana or around the northern part of Ghana and assist me in whatever I wanted to do. This came as a surprise. I was like, wow, really? Like, don't you have anything to do, anywhere to go? But, you know, long story short, this man really went along with me to about, I think, 4 different market places where we were sleeping in hotels and moving and so on and so forth throughout all this time in assisting me. In the course of this traveling, he also assisted me in purchasing a few cows that we saw that we thought were on point and were really good. Right the moment I came back home, he offered to come visit me and see where I am. So he came over to Brekum, saw where I am, saw the project I had intended to do, and decided he was going to give me one of his sons who is taking care of his cows to come and help me. And that's how I landed on my first Fulani herdsman. His son came, and so far I would say has been one of the best Fulani herdsmen that I've actually had. And he stayed with us for years, worked with us, and he's very hardworking, very humble person, very trustworthy, and I can't explain to you guys how much, you know, I really enjoyed working with this guy. Coming from a field where nothing was structured to a field where I was like all planned out, like this is the medication we have to do, this is how we do intensive, like being able to like open all the vision up to him and he understanding and going according to that. That was amazing, and I really enjoy working with him. And I know most of you have had challenges with Fulani herdsmen, you know, just getting them on the street or from sources that is not reliable, and they even stealing your cows away or misbehaving and so on and so forth, right? So that was my story in finding a Fulani herdsman. Unfortunately, this old man actually passed away about 3 months ago. May his soul rest in peace. But he was really like the focal point in me starting this cattle farm business years ago. So, but the son, you know, is no more with me because when the dad passed away, he had to go back and assist the brothers with his head. So I jump over to another Fulani herdsman who is Yaya. In between Seidu and Yaya, I had a couple that I didn't really enjoy working with till I met Yaya. So Yaya has been with us a little over a year now, and he's been amazing. Now we have 3 Fulani herdsmen. We have one that takes care of all the calves, and then we have one that takes care of the pregnant women, and we've divided them into two. Sometimes there could be diseases and stuff, and we have to split them into two. So then when we split them into two, the one who goes here have to take care of those ones, and then the ones who is taking care of the healthy ones have to focus on that. So we always have 3 Fulani herdsmen, and all this, one of them is Yaya's younger brother. I think the third one is a cousin or something, and they've all been very amazing. I think it's all about the training and mentoring. When they came in, they all came in with their way of rearing cows, right? And have to sort of unlearn that and start relearning what the vision of Sementia Farm is, right? So far, Yaya have been amazing. Every morning, taking food to them, checking on all of them, seeing who has symptoms, who is feeling this way, reporting it, filling in, making sure all the animals are here. Even going out to see that, there is a pasture here, or there is a farm here that has been harvested, and we can take them there to feed on the residuals. All this thing is done by them, and he's really, really taking a strong role in the cattle business, and had helped me a lot, to the point where I don't have to really be as involved as I used to be some years back in the cattle farm. So that is my story with that. Moving from that to the poultry farm. So as you know already, the poultry we started not long ago, maybe about 6 months or a little over 6 months ago. And when I wanted to start the poultry farm, I already had a friend, that we called Malangwa, and Alangwa was actually a painter. So Alangwa painted my school, and from there we became close. In the middle of that, I left to the States and decided to construct my container house. But before that, I wanted the whole place to be planted with grass and so on. So Alangwa was basically assisting me on that. And when I came back, he had done a great job with it, and he was still working on his painting and just assisting me at home, And, in a small community like that, work doesn't come very frequently. So I sat down with him and said, hey, this is the idea that I have. What do you think? And he jumped on board and said, yeah, let's try it out and see. As you can see, I go to work maybe once every 2 weeks. So let's test it out. So we decided to test it out. If you haven't watched our first video, you can go down there. We'll add a link there and check the first video we did, where he actually went to rent a pen, and we started with I think about 200 or 300 birds. Tested it out gradually. By then I had gone back to the States, came back, they were still in progress. He was taking care of them, and then gradually decided to start building this pen with him. We started our first batch in our own pen, which were about 2,000, and then now I think we have 5,000 birds as I speak to you today. So Alangwa has been basically, he learned it from the scratch with me. When we started with 200, moved to 300, and then moved to about I think about 400. I think we did 3 sets before we moved to our 2,000, and we used all that for experiments. I mean, we had some losses, we did some mistakes, we learned from them, and now we're able to manage this stuff. And to be honest with you, poultry farming is very intensive. If you want to go into poultry farming and you are not there, or you don't have somebody like my Alangwa, trust me, it's gonna fail. The birds needs attention, medications. It's they are always on medication or vaccinations. They are feeding, changing the sawdust. It's a lot of work. Even some of the vaccinations, you will have to catch them one by one. And imagine if you have 2,000 birds, and catching all of them, for the veterinary to vaccinate them. It is not an easy work, and I know the work that he has put into it, and now he doesn't even do painting anymore. He doesn't do his painting work anymore. He's full-time here and has been here ever since we started with these 2,000 birds, right? And he's very trustworthy, very, very hardworking. Like sometimes I just sit back and just observe him, do his thing and like work. And he's someone that I don't really have to like say, oh, Alangwa, have you given the birds water or have you given them food? No. And I think that's one thing that I love about him is his ownership. Like he doesn't see it as working for me. He sees it as we working together. And I think that is a great quality in him that I really enjoy. Like he doesn't wait for me to come and tell him like, oh, put water here or do this here or we need this. No, he will rather come bugging me because I'm all over the place, and he will come chasing me and say, oh, we need to change this feeder to this, we need to do this, we need to do that. And that's the kind of attitude and person you want to entrust such a huge investment into, right? I can live here and go to the States for 3 months, 1 year, and as far as I know he's here, trust me, I wouldn't be worried. And that's the kind of management team that you want to have. We started just the two of us, and now we've been growing. I think now he has 3 teams that are helping him to manage the 5,000 birds, and it's been amazing, guys. Like he's really be the backbone and the success of this poultry farm. And today, if you're watching this and you have somebody like Alangwa, my prayer, my hope is that we treat them well, we honor them, we appreciate them, let them know how much we value the work that they are doing here for us, and hope that they live longer and continue to see success. It takes a lot. For us starting, it took 18 weeks for us to see the first eggs, and throughout all these 18 weeks, feeding, coming here very early in the morning, like 4 o'clock every day, leaving here very late, sleeping over when we need to, is a lot of work, and I really appreciate. So Alangwa is my hero number 2 here at the farm, and he's been amazing. He's been very amazing. So moving on to hero number 1. So I know most of you abroad and here, you have your family members and so on supporting you and assisting you. Some of you have good stories, some of you unfortunately have had bad experience. As I said, it all comes down to the attitude of the person. What are the person's core value? Who is that person? It doesn't matter if it's a family member or a friend. If the person have the right attitude, and is trustworthy as a person, it doesn't matter the relationship you have with them, they will deliver. So my hero number 1 is actually a son, Godfred. I know most of you have been speaking to him when it comes to getting the brachiaria grass and so on and so forth. Godfred is a son that I actually adopted Godfred when I was, I think, about 22. So we've grown together as father and son, but now he's more like a friend and a buddy. But Godfred is very young. He's about just 15 years old, but I can't express how pleased and how mature that he's grown, especially during this COVID period. Because as you know, all these poultry farms started during the COVID period, right? And it all started when I left to the States in January this year, 2020. And when I was going, I have the cattle and everything, and I had to hand over to Godfred to manage and be paying the workers and so on. And I think I went for about two weeks. But I was very impressed with how he had managed all the money I left with him and his record keeping and everything. So right there, that was my aha moment. So I was like, whoa, I think this guy is at a stage where I need to start training him. So when I came down, COVID happened, and we all had lockdown and school break. So Godfred is actually doing science in high school. He wants to be a doctor. I don't know by now, after he spends so much time at the farm, maybe I need to ask him, but he's doing science. Very brilliant guy. So when school went on break, he had no option than to join me and work here at the farm. and I started entrusting him with a lot of responsibilities and work, and only God knows, and I don't think I have enough words to describe the kind of work that, you know, a 15-year-old guy is able to accomplish here at the farm. Like, basically, he does everything that I can do. Like, he manages all the workers, he pays all the salaries, he checks schedules, like he assigns roles, he hires people, like he's all over the place in all this project that is happening. And he's the one that supervises all these buildings that you can see, gets all the carpenters. Like, if I need any numbers right now to say, oh, how much did we spend on roofing sheet? Like, he's the guy I call. If I want to know, when is the carpenter coming? He is, and he's really proven within this time his maturity, and it's amazing. Like, I am very blessed, and I mean, words cannot describe how much lucky I am to have him in my life, so that I can focus on other things as well. Now he solely manages the farm, so most of the calls that comes to me, I actually push it over to him, and he has the answers to everything. He's been doing this since I think March till now in November, and that's all what he's been doing. He doesn't even take a break. Like, on Sundays I have to literally tell him to stay home, otherwise he still goes to the farm. Like, his hard working and his working attitude is overboard, and I really pray and hope that, you know, he definitely become the doctor that he wished to be, and I know he will make such a great impact in the society and in whichever hospital that he works at, or he starts on his own. But he is one amazing guy, and I know if you ever get the chance to come to this farm, you definitely meet Godfred. So I mean, I know most of you, I remember I spoke to a man who wanted to start a cattle farm, but he wasn't here. I think he was in Germany, and wanted his son to start the process, and so on and so forth. It is not a bad idea, you know. It doesn't mean they are going to be a farmer or not. If they choose to be, that's fine, but as they're growing up, I think it really teaches them a lot. It teaches them, you know, how to manage a lot of things. I think the experience that Godfred is having here on managing people, how to manage finances, how to deal with pressure alone, is not a lesson that any school can teach him. You know, I remember going to the States one time and going to a farm, and the farm owner actually, you know, directed me to his son, who was also about 17 years, to drive me around and show me around. And I was super impressed about an American guy, 17 years, like his experience and all the things that he knew about the farm, you know. And he talked about his young age, where he had to use the shovel and the tractor and all that. And I'm really seeing that in the work that Godfred is doing here. So he is definitely my hero number one. And he, Alangwa, and Yaya are guys that are making Sementia Farm what it is today. With all the updates that I'm able to share with you, Eric and I are always recording, but we are really recording from these three guys' hard work and their management skills, trustworthiness, and sacrifice that they've put into this farm. I know we have a long way to go, but every single day I appreciate everything that they do, and I hope you have workers as well that you can count on them, as I am talking about. But it all takes investment, guys. If you want to succeed, you have to invest into the people around you and make sure that they are happy and can take ownership, because you can't always be there, and even if you're not there, your legacy will still survive and the business will still go on. So this is in a nutshell, maybe more of too much talking, but I get very passionate when I'm talking about these guys, because I feel like I owe them a lot. And today I want to dedicate this video to them, and hopefully someday they will have the opportunity to watch it and also be proud as well when we have, God knows, 50,000 birds or how many cows, I don't know. But thank you guys for sticking around and listening to all these stories. If you have any comments or any suggestions, please contact us on WhatsApp or write your comments below. And thank you very much for watching.